let's go ahead and get into another topic. Let's go ahead and just get right into the topic that I think is the topic of the day. Drake cancels the remaining dates on his Australian Anita McSween tour. A lot of people had some words to say about it, including the Breakfast Club. You know, they have been very integral in just Drake news in general, and they claim to not have heard his album yet. They claim to not like him, but they were the first person I seen report on it this morning. And by this morning, I mean this is the 26th Eastern time. Australia, when the Breakfast Club reported on that shit, it was Thursday in Australia. So let's look into some articles here. We're gonna get into the Breakfast Club comments, but let's start right here. So Drake officially cancels remaining New Zealand and Australian tour dates due to what he is deeming a scheduling conflict. I put that in quotations not to disrespect the boy, but we don't know if this is a real thing. So that is what they are alleging at this point. Bam. Drake has officially called off his current Australia and New Zealand tour early. In a statement exclusively provided by Rolling Stone, Australia, New Zealand. I didn't even know they had different branches of Rolling Stone. I didn't know there was an Australia, New Zealand branch of Rolling Stone. That's crazy. Drake's rep confirmed the surprise cancellation, citing a scheduling conflict. Let's continue. We are actively working on rescheduling these dates along with adding some additional shows, the statement reads. I think when I seen it online, and like I said, I have some homies out on that side of the world. A lot of people were upset and saying, hey, man, like, scheduling conflict. Didn't you have this scheduled ahead of time? Why is it so abrupt that you not only like canceled the rest of the tour, you did it at like a moment's notice? It was just like something happened, bam, show canceled. So it was a lot of speculation, but let's get into some more of that and we can get into the Breakfast Club clip. All tickets for affected shows will remain valid for the new dates. Refunds will be available for those who prefer, but please note that these shows are sold out. Any refunded tickets will be released for sale. Basically, they're saying he sold these venues out. The only thing that's messed up about this is when you go to concerts or shows in general, basketball games, you have, if you live in a regular life or a life where you are constrained to your schedule, you know what I'm saying? You work, you got kids, you do whatever, you have a family like I do. Like I said, I can't just abruptly leave my responsibilities and start doing stuff. But I do mess with y'all and I appreciate y'all for tuning into my stuff. I can't just dip. So people are like, yo, man, we can't just, even if you reschedule, we can't just now take off another day of work or get another babysitter or do this and do this just because you had an inconvenience. So this is what they said. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your patience. Drake and the entire team had an incredible time doing these shows and are excited to return soon. We look forward to sharing the rescheduled dates with you as soon as possible. The statement concludes. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't think he's doing this shit. I don't think he wanted to do this shit as many days as he had. I think he wanted to, you know what I mean? He had to get into a bag where it might have been, quote unquote, quiet for him in the States. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, it could have been. And he had so many tour dates because the reason I'm seeing, and you know, we could get into the Breakfast Club clip because they spoke about it a little bit. They were essentially saying the dates were so spaced out, he would have maybe 12 days in a row where he wasn't doing anything. Somebody that's a regular person, 12 days off from work, not doing anything sounds like a blessing. But when you are a super megastar making billions of dollars, 12 days of doing nothing means you're losing money. Whether you're performing, you're doing anything, that could go into something else where you can have a net positive rather than a net loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make bread as opposed to hanging out, having fun, drinking with the homies and losing bread. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into what the Breakfast Club had to say about this topic.
The OVOE.
Shout out to Lauren. And I'm gonna give her all her praises. I love Lauren LaRosa. I'm actually about to follow her right now. She is my only hope and the only reason why I even tune in to or give the Breakfast Club the time of day. I do fuck with Charlamagne. I do fuck with Envy. He's from Queens. These are legends solidified in the game already. I don't know too much about Jess, so I can't give her that praise. I'm sorry. Fight me. Lauren LaRosa, though, when she came in to substitute Jess, I feel like the show got a definitely increase in their credibility, which is wild to say. She reports on shit with sources and facts, and it is objective. That is the entire setup and what I do on my streams and my YouTube content. You could go through anything. Please, if you don't think I do objective content, please tap into the comments. Let me know what am I doing that is biased. I'm not biased about the shit. It seems like sometimes I talk about Breakfast Club clips and I show stuff and it seems very biased. Lauren is the only person upstanding that journalistic integrity where you can feel a certain way about a certain side and have your opinion, but when you report it, it's objective. That's a fact. So I Brown Girl Grinding, y'all go follow Lauren LaRosa on Twitter, on Instagram. I just followed her on Twitter. I follow her on Instagram already. Let's get into this clip. It's a 3-minute clip. Hey guys. Exclusively spoke to a source who knows on Drake's scheduling conflicts that resulted in tour date cancellations. We asked what the conflicts actually were, and here's what the source told us. Let's get into the clip.
Eli just hit me. OVO Eli that works up here just said there's some new Drake news. What's going on with Drake?
Yeah, so Drake has actually just canceled the remaining dates on the Australia and New Zealand tours.
They suppressing him in Australia too?
Yo, shut up.
UMG reached crazy.
Yo, shut
get on my
up.
nerves.
Wow.
Charlamagne get on my nerves too, but he's a legend. You know what I mean? He's a legend. He good hoodie too. Good Boondocks hoodie, Charla.
No, because that's the problem right now. People and the fans are pissed off because they have all these shows now that are canceled and they're trying to figure out what is happening because the reason that was given was just scheduling conflict and people are like, that makes no sense. What is a scheduling conflict? This is supposed to be a tour. Y'all supposed to have it together. They're like, he's not.
Are they lying? Are they saying anything that's not true? I think when I buy tickets to go to a concert, the last concert I went to was probably Don Toliver's concert. Shout out to Cactus Jack. Shout out to H-Town, Travis, Don, the whole collective. You know what I mean? Sheck West, New York niggas. Yeah. I was never expecting for when his tour date was coming up, the one that I paid money for me and my lady. I wasn't expecting him to be like, yo, you know what, man? Scheduling conflict. We can't get the tour done. Because when you put out tour dates, all of these dates have to be contractually agreed upon and solidified before you can even put them on a flyer. At least that's what I've been familiar with, and I haven't even been on a full nationwide or American tour. I've done certain things with certain artists. No need to get into specifics, but I know at least for a fact when those dates go up on a flyer, even if you going, let's pull it back and make it macro. You don't even have to be talking about a full tour. When you go into a walkthrough for the day, or you have a walkthrough at a club or a strip club, wherever you are, and your name goes on that flyer or that bill, whatever it is, whatever is promoting you for people to come out to this show, Once that's on there, that means either they got their money already, a contract has been signed, something is in place to make sure when we start promoting this, you are showing up. So I could understand people's concern with like, yo, why? Hey, bro, like, didn't you figure this out before you got to the continent?
That makes no sense. What is a scheduling conflict? This is supposed to be a tour. Y'all supposed to have it together. They're like, he's not committed to his fans. They think that there's something underlying here. There's something really, really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So we reached out to try and figure that out.
That's right.
To who? What hour did you call?
Oh my gosh.
You know I don't reveal a source. Okay.
Nope.
Shout out to Lauren, gangsta. Lauren, I love you, girl. Shout out to Lauren. I don't reveal no source. What you talking about, Charla? Shout out to her for even having sources. If she does, if that was just a statement, if not, she keeps it objective. And that was my point about the Breakfast Club now. I don't think they keep it objective. This face that Charlamagne even has right now when the screen is like, then again, that is just his face. Charlotte, that's your face, my boy. I love you, bro. I fuck with a lot of your content. I watch your interview show when you had Big Sean on there and Lil Baby and them guys. You just, you be on some bullshit, bro. You be on bullshit. This face right here is a face of, I don't like this guy.
Okay, but it wasn't out.
That source close to an hour.
So it's close to an hour.
Okay.
We reached out and I sent you the message of what they said, what they told me.
Oh, so it's a beige thing.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, you know the brothers stick together.
Okay.
Oh,
Like not brothers.
Nah, they definitely we call each other beige.
what are y'all talking about?
Okay, so they said, so what I'm told from a source is that everything is good, y'all, so y'all can relax on Drake. They just had a routing mess up towards the end of the tour. So basically, they had Drake doing 4 shows in 16 days. So essentially, if he had done that, he would have been sitting around in Australia doing nothing for 12 days. And that's a huge waste of money and time because you got to pay for his dancers, his production, his lighting crew. It's like there's a lot of overhead.
Look at my homie Lauren reporting objectively on some shit that actually makes sense. Wow. It's almost like they don't need Jess Hilarious on this show. And I don't want anybody to lose a job. I just want to have the best product available. Lauren came in there with explanations as to why. Objective reasoning as to why. Let's go back. Let's just listen.
They had on Drake.
This is what I was getting into earlier. So if he were to continue this show, if they did schedule it this way, and you got to think, when you're an artist, there's levels of these artists, of content creators, entertainers, artists. When you at Drake level, my man is making $100 million off a stake gambling site alone. So you got to just imagine what his normal day is. He's not the one in charge of scheduling shit. So he could agree to a tour or a show and may not know the intricate details right away. He might learn it over time. He may understand it over time. Pardon me, y'all. I'm out here. I'm burping. Because we smoking, drinking, and chilling. You can't blame Drake, the artist, for this scheduling thing because they aren't the ones that are completing these deals to set these tour dates.
They just had a routing mess up towards the end of the tour. So basically, they had.
So I'm pretty sure if Drake was the one behind it, he would never schedule a tour when he has 12 days off before the next show. You got to think, if you watch, let me just pull up the most recent tour. Since I talked about the Don Toliver show, Don Toliver last tour. I'm just going to show y'all how many dates are on there and how many are in, like, how many days you have before a break. Okay, let's go into, if I can even find that. Let's just see. Ticketmaster, 2025. This was last year, so I can't tell you if I can find any of that. But let's go back into, if we can. We can't even do that. I wanted to show y'all last year, but I can't show you anyone that's live on tour right now. I don't know anyone that's on tour, but basically, if you watch somebody's tour schedule, them shit is like either back-to-back days. You might have the most 2 or 3, maybe, dates in between before your next show. You're not having 12 days. It's not that extended of a run. Let's finish out. Let's see what else she has to say.
Had Drake doing 4 shows in 16 days. So essentially, if he had done that, he would have been sitting around in Australia doing nothing for 12 days. And that's a huge waste of money and time because you got to pay for his dancers, his production, his lighting crew. It's like there's a lot of overhead for the tour. So they just, scheduling conflicts. I'm assuming they're going to figure it out for the fans who didn't get to see the rest of the show.
That don't make any sense. So you said he'd have been sitting there for 12 days in between shows.
Yeah, I guess they were consecutive. So the way they did it,
They didn't know that before they booked him?
That's why fans are upset and they're trying to figure out, well,
maybe he didn't, nigga. Like, Drake has been through a lot in the last year. Not that it affected him. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I can't tell. But I mean, nigga, like, I seen, and love you, Charlotte, but I done seen Charlamagne have book signing dates that, because circumstances out of his control, had to be rescheduled. Now, it's not a full tour. He was on tour, with these book releases, and shout out to him. I love your books, bro. I'm a fan. But I'm being objective, as I do. Bro, you can't control everything, my nigga. Like, it sucks that you're trying to put this on the artist when you don't even make your own tour schedule. You may have to sign off on it, but you don't pick and choose. Yo, I want to go to Toronto. I want to go to New York after that. I want to go to Boston. I want to go to Philly. You don't pick that shit, nigga. These niggas that you hire to do that does it for you. You look at it. Maybe you don't even get to look at it. You just get the spreadsheet of like, yo, this is where we going for the next 2 months. And you just sign off on it because you're trying to get that money. You're not being realistic and fair to any artist, but specifically Drake here, and whether there's a reason, I don't know. Let's keep going.
Consecutive. So the way they did it,
They didn't know that before they booked him?
That's why fans are upset and they're trying to figure out, well, what was the conflict? And that's why we're here answering what the conflict was.
Wouldn't you just flop?
Shout out to Lauren, giving the nigga the facts. Yo, this is what the conflict was, and this is why we here answering that shit, boy.
I home. If you got 12 days in between, go
Even
do
if
something
he
else.
flies
Australia's like a 20-hour flight, 22-hour
That's
flight.
my point. There's nothing else you can go
But
do in 12 days.
it's not that easy though, right? Because even
Don't
if
you got a
Drake,
plane?
but if Drake flies home, it's a 737, I believe, right? That don't
How much
fix how many
cost to
people.
fly that?
He still had.
I got a plane, bro. Do you have a plane? Do you know what it takes for me to even take this shit off the ground? And if I do, I'm spending money. I'm not just flying around for willy-nilly and Willie Nelson's sake. I'm losing money if I do this type shit. The fuck?
Has a whole production team. He has dancers. He has wardrobe. He has hair. There's a big. You ever been to a concert?
But the reality is he's coming home anyway. Then.
What do you mean?
Well, his tour's over. He doesn't have to sit
That's
there.
what I'm saying. He's coming home. He's coming home.
Take care of other business.
And when will the tour start back?
I don't know. They got to refund people their tickets and figure it out when they next have the dates. I'm sure when the tour dates are a little closer to each other.
I think it's more to the story. Suppression on the bridge, y'all.
Shut up,
UMG is suppression.
And this is why I love Charlotte, because he be joking half the time. And that's why, like, he is in the position he is. Shout out to you, bro. Like I said, I fuck with you. I read your books. You're the guy.
Shut
The
up.
effective dates are going to be Brisbane. Am I saying that right?
What are those dates?
March 4th. Sydney was going to be March 7th. Auckland.
That's next week.
March 15th and 16th. They're looking ahead now. They're here.
That's 10 days apart from those 2 dates, and
Yeah, so
I guess they're gonna try to get the dates closer to each other so they can just rock out closer and don't have.
And I think I agree with Envy. I think they're gonna try to get those dates a little bit closer. 12 days in a 12-date span from a tour from your last date is crazy. I don't care if you're overseas, wherever you are, that is crazy. Whoever set that up probably got fired. I'm not gonna lie. For the boy, they probably got their asses fired. They definitely got fired.